All right, let's get right into it. Today we're digging into a really ancient and super dramatic myth from the Hittites. It's called the Song of Silver. And trust me, it's this epic tale about power, identity, and what happens when your ambition gets a little too big, like aiming for the stars, literally.
So, let's kick things off with a question that really gets to the core of this whole story. Imagine this. What if finding out who your dad was didn't just change your life? What if it unleashed a power, a rage, so intense that you could threaten to tear down reality itself? Yeah, that's exactly the road our hero is about to go down.
So, Chapter 1. And like a lot of great stories, this one starts with a secret, a hidden past. We're going to look at the really painful beginnings of our main guy and pinpoint that one single moment that basically lights the fuse on his entire world-shattering journey.
So first up, we meet this young guy, Silver. On the surface, things are pretty good. He's living a simple, happy enough life with his mom. But there's this shadow hanging over him. He's an outcast. People call him the nameless boy because he has zero clue who his father is. And for a little while, not knowing is actually fine. And then, bam, everything just falls apart. It all happens during a game with some other kids. One of them hits him with this taunt. It's such a simple, cruel question, but for Silver, it's like a lightning bolt. In that 1 second, he's not just a kid playing anymore. He's an orphan, a nobody, and that changes everything. You know that pain? It hits him like a punch to the gut. He sprints home, and he's not crying. He's filled with this furious rage. He confronts his mom, just demanding she tell him the truth. The texts actually say he was so upset he even tried to hit her. That's how desperate he was to find out who left him fatherless.
And the truth? Wow, it's a bombshell. Turns out, his father is none other than Kumarbi, the former king of the gods. But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch. Kumarbi got kicked off the throne violently by his own son, the god who's in charge now, the storm god Teshub. So think about that. Silver just learned he's the son of a divine king and also the son of a deposed loser.
Now, you might think this news would crush Silver, but it doesn't. It completely transforms him. This new identity just lights a fire under him, and what follows is this absolutely meteoric and frankly terrifying rise to power.
And he's got a plan, a really clear and ruthless one. First thing he does, he fully leans into his divine identity. Then, he takes all that rage and focuses it like a laser on one thing, getting revenge on Teshub. And the crazy part is, it works. He succeeds, becoming a king so powerful, he's bossing around gods and humans.
Okay, so this quote is really interesting, but what makes it so powerful is who's saying it. This isn't some fan of Silver singing his praises. Nope. This is the storm god Teshub himself, Silver's #1 enemy. And you can just hear the mix of awe and fear in his voice. I mean, that just shows you how incredibly successful Silver's conquest really was. But here's the thing. For a guy born from this massive cosmic drama, just ruling the earth and even the other gods, well, that's not enough. That's not the end game. And in this next chapter, we're going to see his ultimate act of hubris. This is the moment his ambition just goes way, way too far. I mean, think about it. At this point, Silver has won. He's got the kingdom, he's got the respect, he's even put the other gods in their place. But that old wound from his childhood, that feeling of being a nobody, it's still there, eating at him. Clearly, absolute power wasn't the answer he was looking for. So what's next? He looks past the earth, he looks past all the gods he's already conquered, and he raises his eyes to the sky. He decides his next target will be the sun and the moon. Yeah, the actual forces that control light and time. He doesn't just want to be king anymore, he wants to control reality itself.
And this is the climax of the story. As Silver is threatening them, the sun and moon literally plead for their lives and for the life of the world. They're not just, balls of gas in the sky. They call themselves the torch of the lands. If he destroys them, it's lights out for everyone. The entire world gets plunged into a cold, eternal darkness. The stakes could not be higher.
This is it, the breaking point. You just can't have someone with an ambition that threatens the entire cosmic order. It's a line you don't cross. And this one act of ultimate hubris, it leads straight to Silver's tragic downfall, and to the whole point of the myth.
So by going after the sun and moon, Silver finally went too far. This was the opening the legitimate king, Teshub, needed.
It gave him the perfect justification to step in, and not just to get his throne back, but to literally save the universe. And just like that, Silver's short, brilliant, and incredibly chaotic reign comes to a very violent end.
Now, if you're thinking, hey, this story sounds kind of familiar, you are absolutely right. What's so wild is how closely it mirrors the much more famous Greek myth of Phaethon. Just look at the parallels. A young guy, mocked about his dad, finds out his father is a god, gets way too ambitious trying to control some cosmic power like the sun's chariot, and then gets struck down by the top god to stop a catastrophe. It is the exact same core story, just told centuries apart by totally different cultures. How cool is that?
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, the Song of Silver is really a huge warning about hubris, about the danger of ambition that has no off switch. It's also hammering home this ancient idea that there's a cosmic order, a balance to the universe, and you mess with it at your own peril. And finally, it's all about legacy, right? How that search for who you are and where you come from can be this incredibly powerful force for good or for total destruction.
And that leaves us with one last question to chew on. Silver's whole journey was kicked off by his origins, by being the son of a deposed god. But his downfall? That came from the choices he made. So it really makes you wonder what truly forges our destiny. Is it our origins, the hand we're dealt, or is it the choices we make along the way?